So my first show as a native of Vegas, a Vegas resident, I couldn't do it at the Blue Wire studio without having a guy who played a big part in me getting an opportunity to come out here. I think I'm his best friend when it comes to podcasting, so I'm gonna let him answer that. But my guy, Super Bowl champion, a 14-year pro?
I wish 12.
You see, look, I'm setting this up like we're podcast best friends, and I don't even have that answer. My guy Will Blackmon joining me. What's good, man? First of all, do you miss me?
Yo, relax. I'm not answering anything. All right. You said, hey, you got me. I said, I got you. That's it. That says enough. Okay. Just let you guys, audience, he asked me last second, and I said, I got you.
Well, to be fair, I did hit you over the weekend, and then you replied to me
That's
late.
still last second for me. That's
Okay.
last second for me.
Fair enough.
Okay. I don't know my schedule till Sunday night, so I can't even plan anything. But I got you. I'm here. I am.
My guy, how you been, man? I'm used to us two talking often, and we were recording together when we were doing your podcast, Upsets and Underdogs. How you holding up? I haven't talked to you in a while.
I've been good. I'm in the trenches, man, with the wine club, with I'm cooking some things up in the podcast world as well. I actually got a couple of college football games later this fall in the booth, which I'm stoked about. And then probably gonna do the London games too. So yeah, it's gonna be a prosperous fall. So I'm stoked for all that stuff, man.
Seems like this is a busy time of the year for you, right?
It is a busy time, but I tell you what though, enough about what I'm doing, man. My man is my man's in Sin City for good. Let's go.
They got me. It didn't take much, but they got me.
It didn't take much. It didn't take much, but you that's where you belong. NYC was cool and all, but that's where you belong. Okay, that is the life, man. That is, first of all, I am super proud of you, man, because that's a big move. That's a big move, bro. Like to do that, I feel like most of people I know back east, because I'm from Rhode Island. Like we don't really go that far. We might go to Boston, we might go to New York. New York might go to Boston. New York, maybe go to Florida. But for you to pick up and go and like, I'm just gonna do this, go to Vegas. That's what's up, bro.
Hey, man, it means a lot coming from you. We had a conversation one time in private, and I'll keep it private. You said something really nice and encouraging to me, so that always resonated with me, and I always keep it in the back of my mind. So enough with this love affair that we're displaying right now on the pod.
That's what you're displaying. I'm not displaying no love affair. I said I was happy for you.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Let's dive into week one, and I do gotta say that I've learned a lot from you from when we were doing our show together and getting the actual player's perspective on things. One of the questions that I got for you, dude, is what is it like after week one, right? You've been in training camp, you've been doing all these camps and mini camps and OTAs and all that, and then you finally get to week one where football really matters and it's going to be kept on the records. And then maybe it doesn't go the way that you aspired it to go. What is like the vibe heading into week two, like after a week one sort of dud, I guess you could say?
I mean, it's week one. It's a long season. At the end of the day, you definitely, they sting more when they are division games. Um, that's what it does, because you really want to win those. However, especially now, it is a longer season. It's 17 weeks, so you don't panic, but it lets you know the things you need to adjust as a team. It lets you know like how you guys prepared um, going into that game. So yeah, it's just a matter of like, okay, this is first live action one-on-ones for 4 quarters. Let's see how we're doing and where we're at right now. Yeah, and it kind of validates enough for guys in front office too. So yeah, I think right now it's like no panic, unless no panic button unless you lose your quarterback. That's a big deal.
Hey, you ever been in locker rooms where after week one you felt like maybe it wasn't said, but inside your gut you're like, oh, this is gonna be a rough year for us?
Shoot, I mean, I felt like that when I was in I can't say that, no. I did not feel like that because I always feel like, especially early, it's wide open. But Jacksonville was kind of like, man, like, okay, we have an interesting team here. We're gonna have to like scrap every single week. I think we got beat by we went like we went 0-8. So the first week was tough. The next week was tough. We had a rough slate of games right there when I was in Jacksonville. But especially early in the season, you just never know. I mean, prime example, no one had Cincy going to the Super Bowl. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? So yeah, any given Sunday, man. So that's why I never really panicked until like we were 0-8.
Yeah, at
Oh
that point,
boy.
it gets rough. Hey, well, I want to start talking a little bit about Week 1, man, and I do feel like Week 1, that Monday after that first opening slate of games, that's where people overreact the most. So I got some overreactions over here, and I asked you to prepare some too, and I feel like I'll lead this one off. My overreaction is Chiefs offense is going to be just fine without Tyreek, as long
Man,
as
that's
they,
my overreaction.
yeah, right. So tell me how you feel, and then I'll give you a follow up.
My whole thing with the Kansas City, it's simple, right? As long as you have Andy Reid, as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're good. You're good. You can literally just cycle through receivers and and that's it. Just get guys with speed who can catch the ball. Um, that's how they've been playing. Obviously, Tyreek was an exceptional athlete. Kelsey is one of the best tight ends to play this game, but you have Mahomes who can get the ball wherever he wants, and you have Andy Reid who can draw up any play that he wants. So as long as you have those two, it could be a revolving door of receivers. You know, receivers who like a Juju Smith who's trying to like get back to where he was. Like it's gonna be a revolving door for those type of guys. It's gonna be kind of like, when guys wanted to play with Brady. It's gonna be like that. So that's why I was like, there's gonna be no panic at all whatsoever. I know a lot of the media is because like Tyreek was a big deal. Yeah, he took the top off the defense, but this is gonna allow Patrick Mahomes to methodically go down the field. I mean, I saw something crazy. They had 33 first downs. Like, come on, man. Like I can't wait till Thursday.
Oh yeah, Thursday is going to be a bar fight. I can't wait for Thursday either. We'll get to Thursday in a sec. But yeah, man, to add to that, one thing I do like, I love when guys bet on themselves. Like Juju being in a 1 year deal, I think that's really dope for him. And dude he was a beast in Pittsburgh, man. And then he started getting banged up a bit. The tail end of Big Ben with him there too was, Big Ben was not the quarterback he was when Juju first got there. And then he had the tail end of that AB drama that was going down over there in
Right.
Pittsburgh. And I remember you saying it about Kansas City last year, how the recipe is you can't have Kelsey and Tyreek run wild on you because then they're impossible to stop. And then you look at Kelsey, dude did his usual stuff, 9 catches for
Right.
121 yards. And then you had Juju contribute 6 for 79. MVS did his thing too. Like they just have so many weapons. And as long as they got Andy Reid and Mahomes, as long as 15 is upright, I think they're going to be fine. And that's what you saw yesterday.
No doubt about it.
What's one that you got?
Overreaction?
Yeah, give me like everyone loves hot takes. Like what's something that might not age well in a couple of weeks from now, but today you're feeling spicy.
Man, I don't know. How can I say this? I had Detroit upsetting Philly yesterday. I did. I really thought they were going to do that. I feel like Detroit's going to be a trap game for a lot of people. Like Detroit might find their way into the being in the hunt somehow, um, in that division. Obviously Minnesota looks fantastic right now, and Green Bay's got to figure it out. Chicago, we don't know because it was such a terrible weather game, so you can't get a real gauge on how they are. But you love how Justin Fields was super composed, doing that stuff. So Detroit, I'm just gonna say, just watch out for Detroit, straight up.
Yeah, man. Last year we were talking about Detroit, how like all the professional bettors loved them because they had the best record against the spread. Even though they would lose
Yeah,
those games, that all of them were super
right.
competitive and they come down to the wire. And then you
Don't
saw
let
them.
don't let Detroit catch you in a sandwich game.
Oh yeah, let's go. He remembers that. Let's go.
don't
The sandwich spot. Hey,
don't let them catch you.
I actually, one of my overreactions got to do with that Bears and Niners game. And from your experience, you ever been in a locker room where it was a quarterback battle and maybe half the locker room wanted one guy and the other wanted the other guy maybe? Because I kind of have a feeling Jimmy G's been so successful with them in San Francisco. Say what you want, but like, dude just wins games, and he went to 2 NFC title games, got him to a Super Bowl.
He gets them to the big games.
Right. It's not going to be
Right.
flashy. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to get the job done.
Look, he's doing enough to get you to the big game. And that is a thing that's so like not talked about. He gets you to the big game, and that's huge. That's all that really matters. Can they get it done when it matters? You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really been in a situation where it was a quarterback battle. You know, I've been like, again, I keep mentioning Jacksonville, where we had tons of quarterbacks playing different times. But I've been lucky, man. I was in Green Bay. Favre, never missed a game. Aaron Rodgers never missed a game. Eli never missed a game. So we always had like that dude who was going to be there. He was accountable.
Stability too, right? Not need to worry about it week to week.
Man, right. We don't need to find a successor. We have our guy because he's not leaving the game. Like, the best backup job ever was being Eli's backup because he never left.
Yeah, and he was always showing up every week too. Man, I feel like Jimmy G might be starting come October. Am I bugging for that?
You might be bugging because it's hard to get a true gauge on Trey Lance in that game. Like, that was just like Debo didn't even play well in that game.
Yeah, and they didn't have Kittle.
They didn't have that's a tough one. I think that game was overall, like, the team just got it done. It was in Chicago. That was a terrible field, and just Chicago just figured it out. So, and plus Fields has more game experience than Trey Lance. So I think just give him a few because eventually he'll figure it out.
Yeah, Trey Lance, I think I saw it was his 3rd or 4th game starting since like 2019 because he sat out because of COVID and then all that, last year going down. So yeah, that's a fair assessment. What I'm saying. Man, for sure. Can I give you one that has to do with my team?
You can, and I'm gonna like it.
I think Saquon Barkley is the best back in the NFL. I've been talking about that for a while now, and we haven't seen it because he's been injured. And I think everything around him, it finally meshed together. Brian Dable being there, the offensive line is much better. Daniel Jones still drives me crazy. I put out tweets like, get Tyrod in at halftime because, I'm irrational sometimes when it comes to them. But Saquon yesterday, I think that and the Saints game he had last year where they won in overtime in the Superdome are the 2 best games that he's had as a New York Giant. And you got to see why he was the number 2 overall pick and why he's one of the best, and in my opinion, the best running back in the league.
Well, I can't crown him just yet because the reigning champ still had a good game.
That's your
Jonathan
boy.
Taylor.
That's your boy, too.
Yeah, and Jonathan Taylor. Saquon looks like Saquon, and, you want to make sure that he can continue to do it and make sure that he stays healthy. And but I think he's in a great position, man. You saw the energy with Coach Dabble, how he was. And I spoke to a couple guys over there, and they're like, man, I love the culture that they're building here. And when you hear that from the players, that says a lot. And you saw it. I mean, Sterling Shepard and Saquon, they didn't really do anything since 2018 in terms of playing a full season. And you saw when he hugged them both, like, that says a lot right there. The 4th quarter, they had the ball for about 10 minutes in order to get it done, and then put the ball in their court, in Tennessee's court, for them to go down there and kick a field goal to hopefully win the game. So, yeah, it was cool, man. It was cool that they didn't go for the tie. They went for 2. You just love the energy there. But, yeah, that is very possible. If everyone stays healthy over there, it's possible because Saquon's on one right now. He's feeling good, and he's pissed off.
Hey, well, I don't know how to act, man. It's the first time they want to know since 2015. I'm looking at the schedule, getting ahead of myself, but they got 3 straight home games now. They got Carolina. They're going to play Dallas without Dak, and then they're going to play Chicago all at home. Yeah, I'm going to try my best to not get full of myself, but I'm not going to know how to act if they end up like 4-0.
But get excited. Embrace that. I hate when people get terrified. Like, man, don't jinx it. F that jinx.
For sure. And
Embrace
and
it.
and with Shepard and Barkley, like Giants got a lot of turnover since then. They got to be two of the longest tenured players with the Giants right now. I mean, off the top of
Yep.
my head, I can't think of anyone. Maybe there's a lineman, but for the most part, like all the key players for them is them two
Is
that have been
Hernandez
there.
still there?
I'm sorry?
Is Hernandez still there?
No, Hernandez isn't there. They didn't re-up him. He
Where'd he
left.
go?
So like, yeah, man, it's been a long time
Oh,
coming.
he went
And
to Arizona. That's where he is.
yeah, so that was another one of my overreactions. Arizona desperately need D Hop.
I was just gonna say Arizona. They're gonna have problems.
So
Man, oh man.
So if you think about it, right, like D Hop's going to be out the first 6 games because of his suspension, but then they
Yep.
also lost Christian Kirk too, and Kirk ain't coming
Right.
back. And I've
Right.
always been a Kirk truther. I feel like he's a very solid football player, and I'm happy that he got the bag over in Jacksonville. But dude, you're down your top 2 wide receivers from the year before. That's why it kind of looked the way it did yesterday.
Yeah, it's I mean, then again though, they played the Chiefs. I mean, that's
True.
pretty tough.
Yeah, that's fair.
They played a Chiefs team who's turned up because they're saying like they're not going to be good without Tyreek. So that's interesting.
Last one from me. You were talking about you're excited for that Thursday night game. That Thursday night game is going to be the Chargers and the Chiefs. They're playing in Arrowhead. Last year, the Chargers beat them in Arrowhead, and then Kansas City went into LA and they got revenge later on that banger of a Thursday night football game. For me, dude, I know we saw Buffalo last Thursday, and one of my favorite things about week 1 as a whole, it's like every time you saw one quarterback, you're like, oh, this is the best QB in the league. Then another one had
Right.
a great game. And then Mahomes
Right.
had a great game. And then it was Herbert. I think the Chargers got the most complete team in the NFL. Bosa and Mack went wild yesterday with the pressures. And
I'm gonna have to disagree.
we also didn't see him with J.C. Jackson too. And I know Asante Samuel Jr. played well. I was a big fan of his coming out.
But you're saying the Chargers have the most complete team?
I think top to bottom, yeah, they got the most complete team in the league. All levels of the field, if you combine everything, I think if you were to do like
if you combine everything in Buffalo, I'm talking top down, literally GM, coaching staff, players. I mean, I guess if you go
talent on
QB,
the field,
I'm taking QB. You taking Josh or Herbert?
Look, I'm a Herbert stan, but I'd probably
You're taking Allen or Herbert.
I'd take Allen. Bias aside, I love Justin Herbert. I would take Allen.
Okay, running backs.
Eckler.
Taking Eckler over everybody, right? Singletary and everybody.
Yeah, James Cook, Singletary, Moss.
Receivers.
Man, Diggs is Gabriel. Yeah, you're right. They just lost Keenan too.
Don't let me sway you. You know.
Yeah, but then I think after that, if you start going defensive line, linebackers, and DBs, everyone healthy, I'd probably take the Chargers right now.
They got a solid D line in terms of, well, yeah, you got Bosa and Mack, but I like Oliver and Vaughn.
And Russo too was
And safety. They got Durham, but they got 2 All-Pro safeties. And right now, Tre'Davious White is injured. But them boy Micah Hyde and Poyer.
Yeah, they're the staples on the back end for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's interesting, right? The one thing that
it could be a toss-up. It's a toss-up.
I'll give you the front office and the head coach because Brandon.
No, I'm talking about the staff, the whole staff.
So here's the thing, right? Like I feel like Staley can win them 2 games that your average coach wouldn't win, but then he'll also lose 2 games because of how aggressive he is in his coaching style. That 2 coaches would probably win. So that's where I would defer to you and take the coaching staff and front office of Buffalo. But I really think Herbert was dialed in, man, yesterday, and so was Mahomes too. He threw 5 touchdowns. That's going to be a banger on Thursday. And the last thing I want to ask you about is it fair to say you're Packers? Is that who you pledge your allegiance to in the league?
A man has no team. Vala Mugalis.
Would you think of Green Bay, man? Because I know we were just talking about the
Look,
Chargers. Devontae left. The young Bucks with A
if
Rod.
if Watson makes that catch, we're not having any conversations. You just got to make that catch. That would have been a huge like momentum shift and also a confidence booster for him.
Yeah, and
Just make
Rodgers
that
too,
catch.
right?
Rodgers is good. Just make that catch.
No,
Well, yeah, confidence in him,
yeah,
like getting
right. Yeah,
back to
that's what I
him.
meant.
No doubt about it. Because it's, I mean, people can be like, oh, they didn't prepare in the offseason. They didn't work together. It's like, bro, a football is a football. He threw a dime. Okay. Go route. Catch that. Touchdown.
Mm.
You playing with Aaron Rodgers. That ball is gonna be there. Just get to your spot. And that was a perfect dime. It wasn't like a dig route at a certain depth, versus a certain coverage where they have, signals and ball location. This was a go route. Catch the ball, and we're good.
Nah,
And
you're
we're
right.
good,
You're right.
you know? And then also, too, defensively, it's like, bro, know where Justin Jefferson is. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, he was getting.
How hard? Like, just,
It was
bro, he was
ridiculous how
getting
open.
wide. That's what I'm saying. And it was like simple things like condensed formations, play action. They were running, race routes across the field. No, they should know that once there's a tight split, like, bro, like be ready for some kind of action. Like that is football 101. I don't know what they were thinking in that secondary with that. Like that was driving me crazy. He was just finding open spots. If you're not worried, if you're not covering him, then forget about it. 184 yards later, whatever he had.
Yeah, there was one on his second touchdown. It looked like he caught the ball coming across the middle, and then when he like peeped back to see if there was anyone by him, he was blown away at how open he was.
Right, because what happened was when you do the crisscrosses, you're trying to see who's going to bite what. So for the DBs, you're supposed to communicate it pre-snap and then pass it off. No one passed it off. The safety dove on the first crosser. Therefore, Justin Jefferson came across on the other crosser, deep crosser, and he was wide open. Like come on, man. That's like you got to be ready for that stuff.
Hey, Will,
I'm over here watching Russ.
as we start winding down on this one, man, and I appreciate your time. I could talk to you for hours about this stuff. It's always amazing. I'll never forget that time, bro. We were hanging out in Vegas, and you're just like casually eating your buffalo wings and just called out like you called out 4 straight plays in a row, and I was just sitting down. I was like, nah, there's no way. Like he had to know something. It was just amazing.
Oh, the Raiders football team game.
Yeah, last year. Hey, what's like? Is there anything that changed for you after one game? Maybe like there was a team coming into the year that you had high hopes for or low hopes for, and that week one really like blew your mind. How would you?
You talking about as in right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about like right now. Just it doesn't need to be like a hot take or anything. It's just like what was it coming into the season or into week one that kind of shocked you? It could be positive or negative.
Oh, let me get to these games, man. Let me pull up these scores. I need to look at the games. I think what shocked me was it's like shocking but not shocking, but how like anemic Dallas was.
Yeah.
Like just okay, they're lacking another receiver. All right, but man, it's like they just look so basic and so regular. You know what I mean? And that was shocking to me. I expected a lot out of the Colts. I thought they were going to run right through Houston. But they end up. I told y'all sleeping on Davis Mills, best quarterback in that draft. Y'all keep sleeping. I'm telling you.
Hey,
Yeah. So those are the things I was confused with. Actually, it surprised me. I thought the numbers don't really show, but I thought Mariota played pretty well versus New Orleans.
yeah, he looked all right. He had that one bad turnover in the red zone, but
Right.
I think with him, it's like he's always been snake bit by injuries. That's the thing that's plagued him the most.
Right.
When it comes back
And,
to Dallas real quick, I was so off them coming into this season. Like, and I don't even want to get called a hater because I picked Philly to go to the Super Bowl, and that's not. There's no team that I hate more than them, right? But like trying to be a professional here, coming into it, I felt like Dallas losing Amari, losing Gallup until he comes back. They lose Cedric
right.
Wilson too, who anytime this dude stepped in for one of those guys last year, it was like 4 for 80 yards and a touchdown, and he's in Miami
Right.
now. And I know Dallas, like, shout out to Micah Parsons because he made 3 stops inside the red zone that
And the
led
red
to
zone. Oh yeah.
field goals for Tampa. That game could have been way worse than it was
That
yesterday.
could have been horrible.
So yeah, like, what is it with
And
CD?
I'm happy for Julio.
Yeah, I mean that's my guy. I love Julio. Julio is back.
Yeah. What is it with CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, like what is it? Do you think he could be like a true alpha wide receiver in the league? Like, because that's a lot of things that people are saying right now.
I think he's not strong enough. I think that's the only thing. I think he's very talented, but I just think he's not strong enough to be that guy. Because I feel like guys can get their hands on him. But also too, I just feel like he got to get in sync with Dak. Because right now he's the only guy. I feel like, I know it's only week 1, but I promise you, Tampa was not worried about any other receiver other than him. They weren't. So that's a problem.
Yeah,
In order to be the guy, you need to be pretty strong. Think about receivers who really didn't have a Robin, like Calvin Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald and Amari or what's his name, Josh Gordon when he was in Cleveland. Like these are some big, strong,
physical,
tough receivers. Yeah, physical. To just like guys like that where we're getting that ball across the middle, Michael Irvin. So interesting, bro. Like if you look at Jamar Chase, like he's strong, and they were trying to take his head off when they played the Steelers. He was getting the ball, nobody in between defenders, middle field, like wherever. He was getting the ball, getting teed off on, but he was so strong. He's able to, and I'm just not sure if like CD is built like that yet. Like that was my concern going into the season. I was like, man, if he can put on a little mass and just be that strong receiver, like Dez was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Austin was like that when
Yep.
he ended up being the dude. Just these strong dudes. So we shall see.
We shall see. Well, you're the man, dude. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. I had to have you as my first guest on here when I was going to do
By the way,
show.
Geno Smith is perfect right now. He's 7 for 7, 89 yards and a TD.
Well, that's because I got +7 right now on the Seahawks. I don't know many people that didn't take Denver in this one. So I'm hoping once I get off here and I watch the second half, I'll be cashing this ticket later. But, Will, where can people where can people find you, man? And again, I appreciate your time, dude.
Yeah, just go to @Will Blackmon on all socials. @Will Blackmon.
The wine MVP.
There I am. Hi, my dog.
Yo, Will, appreciate you, man. We'll chat soon, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
Take
Yes,
care.
sir.